you kind of from Ian, did you? I don't think so. So initially, it was coming right over here, and then kept shifting.
Yes, my wife got nervous.
That's right.
That's a photo. Look at the jet stream. It's gonna move somewhere.
Right.
Fortunately, it didn't.
Yeah, I was so glad to see
Fortunately
that.
for us, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got our share in the last 5 years.
Sure. Yeah.
Building us a new airport today.
Making it better.
International flights out there.
That's right. The airports love having that international airport in their name, but a lot of them don't even have any international flights. They have a customs area that they could use if they have international. Yeah, there's some kind of minimum.
Take them down.
Yeah, they could convert it into a customs area if they needed to.
I've been through customs several times. It's never fun.
No.
Well, they just sent that out last yesterday.
Back in the 90s, early 2000s. It was pretty rough at times. They take our stuff and Friday.
So they may take back their single resources out of that team.
Yeah, I went to Ecuador 20 years ago, and on the way back, I got a soccer ball there. It was in my bag, and I was
Randy Lamborn.
had to get off the plane to the area, and then the bag opened and had the ball in there. They were telling me something. I didn't totally understand what they were saying, and I said,
He done it.
keep it.
Really?
Took it out.
He had like 2 days.
Put my bag back on the plane without it. Now it's possible it might explode because it was pumped up. It wasn't. I thought about it after the fact. That's probably what it was.
I brought
It's like, you can do it online.
I figured, the ag station there with the assistant.
I see.
It's been in my boys' room for some years.
They cooking it?
Yeah. Fairly dehydrated.
Okay, I got to go.
They shriveled up cooking it.
We've had, back in the 2000s, because it was all Central America.
I'm a trainee and ain't nobody else above me.
They were standing there with
Yeah, I don't know you ever get it off.
morale something. I don't understand. So what do you want me to do?
Whatever you're telling me, got it on.
Don't shoot me.
Right. Jeez.
It's gotten a lot better. They still take your stuff.
Yeah, no, I haven't been out of the country since 2003.
I haven't been since. I did about a dozen down.
I did a mission trip in Ecuador for 2 weeks back in 2002, 2003. Yeah.
All of ours are on construction. I've only done 1 2 week, but some of them all been, like 1 month, crammed into 1 week.
All the stuff to do.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. If you don't do it.
It's been a while.
Ours was, we did 1 week of medical stuff, and then the second week we were just teaching English. Local schools.
Mine's always been construction.
Yeah, you can't do 2 weeks of that. I mean, you're being worn out the first week of sure.
I tell them I don't care about the rest of the stuff. I'd rather be.
They built some stuff for you guys. Yeah.
They built a lot of churches.
That's right, Father, we do thank you for this day, we thank you for this opportunity to serve you. We thank you, Lord, for how you bless the county and our state, our nation with this grace, this committee that, Lord, instill upon the leaders of this land, knowledge and grace and mercy, Lord, that we would abide by your word and obey your direction. We pray for this meeting, that you be with us, that you guide us, direct us, have your will and your way. Thank you for each one that's here and for the work that's going to be accomplished. That you would kind of protection upon our first responders and military and their families. For them. We just ask now that you go with us, and what's accomplished here today, Jesus.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Yes, before we start our meeting, there's always a few housekeepers. Conference line has been set up. The number is 1-917-900-1022. The access code is 32347. This is not a toll-free number. You may be subject to long-distance charges according to your plan. If anyone wishes to speak, now advise, the moderator will unmute your line when it's your turn to speak and notify you by announcing the last 4 digits of your telephone number. Please announce your name and address, and you will be allowed to speak for 3 minutes. Anyone wishing to address the board on that agenda item will be given 3 minutes. 3 minutes for comments, and a commenter may only speak once for each agenda item. Thank you. With that being said, the first thing is the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the amended agenda.
Motion second, that the agenda be approved as written. First thing on our agenda is item number 4. The board to consider adoption of a proclamation. Proclamation October 2022 as the Florida Festival Month, as requested by Don Perez, TDC, and the Chamber Director.
Motion to read the proclamation.
Okay, read the proclamation.
By Tom Mooney.
Okay, motion second, all in favor saying aye. Good. Mr. Bishop.
Yes, Proclamation Florida Forest Festival. Whereas October 2022 marks the 67th anniversary of the Florida Forest Festival in Taylor County, Florida, and whereas in 1956 the citizens of Taylor County, Florida decided to stage a countywide pine tree festival as an educational tool to reduce forest fires that were crippling the county economic base, the timber industry, and whereas over the years the festival grew and accomplished its aim so well that by 1965 Taylor County could boast the lowest fire record in the nation, and whereas in 1965 Taylor County was the top tree producing county in the South, and then Florida Governor Hayden Burns and the Florida Cabinet proclaimed Taylor County the tree capital of the South. And at the urging of Governor Burns, the Pine Tree Festival became the Florida Forest Festival. And whereas the goal of the Florida Forest Festival became and remains that of promoting the benefits of forestry in Florida, and whereas special activities have been planned throughout the month of October to celebrate the occasion of this anniversary, and whereas it's fitting that we should join in the celebration of this anniversary, representing more than 65 years of service to the forest industry, and now therefore be it resolved that the Taylor County Board of County Commissioners does hereby proclaim the month of October 2022 as Florida Forest Festival Month, done in order this 18th day of October 2022 in Taylor County, Florida.
You need a motion and a second, sir.
Motion.
Second. Motion second, all in favor of saying aye. Ms. Perez, you would like to add something to say?
Well, I'd like to introduce our Miss Florida Forest Festival Queen. Some of you may know her well, Liz Newman. Our little king queen couldn't be here today, but the newspaper did ask for us to get a picture of the commission with the proclamation.
Okay.
And I'd like to invite you guys to come out to the festival. We've got a lot of great things going on, and our theme this year is Find Your Roots.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Do we need to come down and get a picture now?
Yes, please.
That's the director's picture.
Maybe if y'all get in front of the podium and then some of y'all in the back. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right, we go to number 4A, the board to consider adoption of a resolution honoring Rhett Wiggins.
Motion to read the resolution in its entirety.
Motion and second, if we read the resolution of its entire division.
It's a resolution honoring Rhett Willingham. Whereas on Thursday, June 30th, 2022, while skulking off the coast at Keaton Beach, Taylor County, Florida, 17-year-old Addison Bethay was bitten by a shark estimated to be 9 feet in length. The shark was aggressive and attacked Addison several times. And whereas her brother, Rhett Willingham, a firefighter EMT in Taylor County, was able to physically separate the shark from his sister, Addison survived because of the actions of Rhett Willingham and the help of several local boaters. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners wish to honor Rhett Willingham for his swift actions in saving his sister, Addison Bethay, now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Taylor County to honor firefighter EMT Rhett Willingham. Passed and adopted in regular session this 18th day of October, 2022.
Yes, sir. Yeah, motion.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor saying aye? Yes. Another picture. Mr. Rhett Willingham?
Come on up.
Anything? Huh? Okay, before we do that, Allison, you want to say something? You don't have to be ashamed now. What about it, Rhett?
No, I'm good.
Well, does the mayor
Doc?
want to say anything?
I mean, we're proud of him, obviously.
Okay.
That's, the whole ordeal was not possible unless he was there that day, and so.
Yeah, do you want to pick up your phone? I'll be ready.
Thank you.
We go to number 5 on our, consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda we want to take off, talk about? If not, I entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda? Second.
All in favor, saying aye?
Aye.
Okay. They go to bid, the bid hearing on number 12. Board to receive statement of qualification. SOQS for the Taylor County, Florida Harvest Park redevelopment professional surveying services set for this date at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter. Go ahead.
We received two responses to the solicitation, one from CHW, one from North Professional Services. I will say that both of these are very familiar to us. They are both also under our continuing engineering contracts. But because of the federal funding of this Restore Act, because of the U.S. Treasury obligations, we were required to go out for additional solicitations. That's why we're here today. I will have a review committee of myself, Hank Evans, Public Works Director, and Jamie Evans, the Insurance Coordinator. And we will review these two proposals for consistency with the specifications, and then we will move to requesting a actual price of the one we consider to be the most responsible.
All right. So we don't have,
Yes. There's no money, no value in the price at all in this response. This is just a statement of qualifications.
Kenneth, when do you think you'll be able to bring something back to the board?
I'll try to do it at the next meeting.
We had a special meeting on the 25th, and then our next board meeting is Tuesday, the 1st, I believe.
Let's shoot for the first one in November, and then if I can make it before then it'll be good.
Thank you.
I'll try. Obviously, we would have liked not to have to go this route because I already have a standing contract with these, but some of the individuals with the Restore Act were
Persistent.
quite persistent. That's a very nice way to If any of you read this stuff in here that they had me put in, it is about the point of view ridiculous.
It's quite onerous, and that's what we're running into with especially the Restore Act contracts and agreements, bid solicitation. It is very involved and quite a chore to even, Kenneth basically had to rewrite the specifications.
More than
Yes.
I hate it, but that's the federal government, or no, it's not the federal government, it's the.
U.S. Treasury.
It's Treasury, yeah.
It is?
Yeah, but it's, there's a monetary threshold of $35,000 to which this becomes not applicable. And we told them over and over that, this is not going to be a $35,000 job. But it kind of fell on deaf ears, and we had to go this route. So anyway, I'll get the qualifications from Cindy later, and then we'll try to make the earlier, but, we'll shoot for the one in November.
Thank you.
thank you. All right. Go to number 13, Mr. Eric Black, the district manager, and Jack Smith to appear to present Florida Forest Service Award Report.
That was a typo with Mr. Black, he will not be here.
Okay.
Jack Smith, got the yes for Taylor County.
We'll start this off a little different.
I've been in this job for a long time. I guess it'll be the last time y'all see me before you as a board in this capacity. I will be retiring in March. So, this is our annual report for July 1, 2021 through 2022, June. It's going to be brief and short, not reading it all. We have 4 type 2 tractor plow units in this area, 2 type 1 tractors, which are 850s. bulldozers. And the reason we are one of the only districts in the state that have 5 850 bulldozers, big ones, just because of San Pedro Bay Swamp. That's what it takes. Got a 750 gallon brush truck, a 300 gallon brush truck, a 2,500 gallon track water trailer, and an all-terrain vehicle with 500 gallons of water on it. We have a lot of specialized equipment in this Fort County area because of San Pedro Bay. Mr. Newman can testify to what it takes to fight fire out there. So
It's pretty intense.
it can be. We've been very lucky for one while. Wildfire activity for this past physical year, we had 52 fires in the county for 131 acres. And if you can't brag on nothing else, I can dang sure brag on that, so that's not bad.
Okay.
That's a higher number of fires, but a lower number of acres. And as we all know, fires are weather dependent. You can say you can predict them, but you can't. It depends on Mother Nature, and you just got to deal with it. We had 29 fires last year for 317 acres. In addition to support given to FFS by the Four Rivers Land and Timber Company, Taylor County Commission, Taylor County Fire Rescue, and the local volunteer fire departments, and other cooperators, was once again very instrumental in helping limit the impact of wildfires on Taylor County residents. It takes a team effort, and that includes everybody. I will say that forever. Lightning fires, there's nothing we can do about those but go catch them. 24. The rest of them, some of them are preventable. And due to COVID restrictions, that'd be nice. Our fire prevention efforts since COVID started has been zero. This year is the first year we have been allowed back into the fire prevention world, and it started last week. We visit every school, not every school. We visit schools and daycares. And naturally, we are the reason for the Florida Forest Festival. Fire prevention effort.
Yeah.
We did not do any mitigation work this past year, just because of lack of manpower and the weather not cooperating. We did issue $9,871 permits for acres to be burned, for a total of 3,112 permits for agricultural, 6,600 for silviculture, which is the growing of trees of some sort. Those have to be pine trees. And land clearing, 106 permits for a total of 9,800 acres. Files, 1,458. So the total for the county was 789 authorizations. And we did 4 prescription fire line fire requests to help protect 400 acres and 6 prescribed burns of 338, which is not a lot, but the only fire prevention we did last year was the King Tree Parade, and I had to fight tooth and nail to even be involved with that. Under the rural community fire prevention, fire protection program, the county was approved for 6,585 under the Title IV grant that was administered by us to purchase firefighting equipment for the Taylor County. Taylor County Fire Department takes great advantage of that program every year. We were able to have an in-person San Pedro Bay Landowners Association meeting this year, held at DOT. That was on April 27th, the 20th. And that is a group, or the group of landowners in and surrounding San Pedro Bay. Just a meet and greet and bring the team together so we don't meet on the fire ground at the worst possible moment. And that's the end for me.
Mr. Chairperson, if I could, I just wanted to publicly thank Jack and the Florida Forest Service and the Chamber for assisting us with planting the trees at Forest Capital Park. I'm happy to say that I believe most of them have survived. I think, and we expected to lose a few.
Right.
But we really appreciate that assistance. They're growing nicely.
And I'll get to that part on mine on planting those, but we're going to try to keep perpetuating that.
That would be great, thank you.
Some of the older trees down from lightning strikes, bugs killing it, stuff like that. We're going to try to keep planting new ones in there. But the reason some of those died quicker than the others was because they were potted, like
Right.
3-year-old trees. And we knew that some was going to be root bound and die, but they were free to plant. And so we got to do that. So we're going to get smaller ones and try to, younger ones to plant out there as it needs.
Well, thank you, we really appreciate it.
And thank you. I mean, that's something we should have done a long time ago, I feel like. But we have started it now,
Yes.
so we need to keep it going.
Yes.
Good.
Thanks. My name's Jared Beecham, I'm the county forester here. I'm gonna read the cooperative forestry assistance part of this report. Made over 78 assists in Taylor County involving approximately 6,000 acres of land. That includes 4 general management plans, and those can be anywhere from somebody just wanting a 2-page plan of reforestation to plant, like what to do, and it can go all the way from a ag assessment plan, somebody that buys a property and the property appraiser needs that plan to justify doing agriculture. We attended an annual Master Gardener plant sale, and then just below that it says last year, that's a typo. It's a continuing management out there on those smaller trees because they tend to get pine sawfly, which is part of my report in here. That's the first place I look in town is that place. And Jack has been good enough that we got a sprayer and we'll go out there and spray those trees when we find sawfly larvae, little caterpillars on the trees to keep it from killing them. Talking about assistance, federal assistance first, and that would be through our Stewardship Program. There's 78 Taylor County landowners enrolled in that program. That's a pretty lengthy stewardship plan. It's like 20-something pages, and it's pretty comprehensive for a 10-year outlook. And that's a total ownership of over 17,000 acres in the county. The Southern Pine Beetle Prevention Program, that's a cost share program where landowners can apply to get a cost share rate to help them replant their trees back. And that program specifically kind of favors longleaf and slash pine. It kind of cuts out the loblolly because that's where we first see southern pine beetles attacking first, and so we kind of wanted to limit that as much as we could. We had 5 applicants apply for that here in Taylor County. The EQIP program, which is Environmental Qualities Incentive Program, administered by the Natural Resource Conservation Services, or NRCS, through the Farm Service Agency. There were 3 of those that applied and got approved for a total of over 500 acres of replanting pines. And then our newest one, the one that I really want to harp on, was the Sequestering Carbon Protecting Florida Land Program. That program is going to be for at least 5 years so far. The funding has actually been increased last year. Started out with $2 million per year for all of Florida residents that want to apply for help for planting trees. Most of our programs, the previous one was 726 trees per acre. This one, because it's wanting to sequester carbon in the trees to help the environment, they'll let you plant 800 trees per acre. So you can plant more if you wanted to, and it does all the major species that we have, from sand pine, slash, loblolly, all of our commercial species. In our district alone, we had over half of the applicants in the whole state of Florida. So, we had a pile. I think I had 37 last year, and that includes the 7 here in Taylor County. And most of those got approved. Some of them opted to get out of it because there is certain contractual requirements with this program. And, you got to keep trees planted for 5 years. If you decide to sell it for development, when the land prices go up, then you have to repay the program. So some opted out of it for that, opportunity. Forest Health had pine sawflies, and that's like right there at the park. Some of those larger longleaf remnant old ones there. There's one particularly they keep coming back to for some reason, and you can't really stop the pine sawflies. They don't necessarily kill the bigger trees. The smaller ones, what they'll do is they'll inhibit the growth, and so they may stay stunted for a while until those pine sawfly get away from that. I performed 22 other forest health inspections, and that includes anything from bark beetles to flooding to why my trees are dying to all of that. And then we don't have any state lands on our district that I help manage, but that's about it. If there's anybody that's interested in the Sequestering program, call me or call our office and I'll get a hold of them and we can get you on the list for next year. It comes out somewhere around July. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, a couple of questions. This pine saw fly, how do you identify it? What does it look like? How do you know if you've got it?
The adult is actually a red-headed wasp. It's a little tiny wasp about that big. Sort of stinger looks like a saw. It's like a serrated spike, and what it does is it puts holes in the needle, lays eggs. When it comes out, it's going to be little green caterpillars about that big with little red heads on them. And all they do is eat the needles off the pine tree. So instead of it being like a long leaf with needles coming down on it, it look almost like a bottle brush because half the needles has been eaten off. It's not detrimental, but usually if it keeps coming back to those trees year after year after year, it'll suppress them enough that some of them could die.
The other thing is, if I've got 5 or 6 acres and I want to plant saplings on it, so what's the process?
So the Sequestering program, the one I talked about earlier, I forgot to mention that there is minimal requirements for that program. One is you have to have at least 20 acres, plantable space. But I have to have 10 on the Southern Pine Beetle Prevention Program. So cost shares is out there, but it's only through the federal government, through NRCS. You can plant from 1 to 150 acres if you wanted with them. But the process is I can come out there and look at it because each property is different. It's not a cookie cutter type application. I'll look at it, see what you need to do to save you money, doing the least amount possible, money wise, to get your goals accomplished.
Okay, so, do you purchase these or are they?
Purchase. Yes, there's nurseries, there's a couple in Madison, we got one down in Chiefland, and you would purchase the seedlings for that. And what you would do is usually the rate, like 10-by-6 spacing for the rows, that'll equal 726 trees per acre, and then 726 times how many acres you have is the total number of seedlings that you're gonna need to request from the nursery. And you usually request that, I would request it starting in February, if you're gonna go with certain species of pines.
So when do you plant them?
You plant them from November to the end of February. Depending on the seedling, if you get containerized seedlings, which have like a little plug to the bottom of it instead of a bare root, you can extend it out by a month, depending on the weather.
Do you all have a list of people that you can call that will plant them for you?
Yes, I have a vendor list
Okay.
for the areas that we come and service in the county.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I've got a couple of questions for you guys. Can y'all speak a little bit about how challenging the labor market has been in keeping and retaining rangers locally? And that's really a twofold question. I'm just interested to see if staffing is at a reasonable level and not just that. You can answer that question, I can ask you another one, but I just got a couple.
I'll let Jack answer that one. He does the hiring, so he knows the challenges firsthand a little bit better.
And I'm gonna go way back. Well, it's not a gotcha question. I'm just kind of trying to see if the levels are reasonable or how y'all are adapting with the challenges.
We are struggling. I'm gonna go way back, like I said, once again, when I started. there was over 300 applicants put in for one position. Now we're lucky to have one or two possibly, and that is any position. Mechanics, duty officer, it's a struggle. Do I have the correct answer? No. The firefighting class this year got a almost $20,000 a year bump in pay. I still don't think that's gonna help. It won't end it, it will help. But it
That's for
is
your
a-
ranger position?
For the ranger position. It went up to
41,
41 something starting pay.
and they were at 27. So,
Pretty substantial.
well, comparable, I mean, the same people could go do a Fed job and they pay a lot more, but a lot of people want to stay local. So that does help some of the problem, but I'm with Jack, it ain't gonna solve.
And we haven't done, in our Fort County area, I think we may have hired 2 since then, since that May increase. So I can't say if that has increased the applicant pool or not. Like I said, that's gonna help. Do I think that's the end all to answer the question? No. That's just sticking my foot in my mouth, but that's just the time we're in and the people don't want to work. They want the $310.
I think that's the biggest issue is getting people wanting to work. I don't know the solution.
Right. But I guess the next part of the question is, are you guys, I see the amount of resources that you have here locally, is that program continuing as far as replacement, the funding from the state level to continue to maintain that fleet, given the demand?
We typically have 2 classes a year to teach firefighters. With about, I think there's 42 in the class we do one in spring, one in the fall. That's trying to answer your question. But that's statewide. So we're around 80 employees every year.
That's in the Fort County area?
No, sure, that is for the state. There is 400 and some change firefighters for the whole state of Florida. And we're replacing a fourth of them every year. Almost.
Yeah, there's a big gap from the senior people that have the knowledge to juniors, the junior people, what would you say, is over 50% of the workforce at this point?
75.
Yeah.
That's less than 10 years experience.
I guess one last question, given
It's coming, and I'm not trying to be negative, but a lot of these inexperienced people haven't been tried by fire. It's just been a long time. It's coming.
given some of the lack of rainfall lately, what are the drought levels locally?
We looked at it this morning, we were 380 something, no, hold me to that number for sure.
346.
346?
Out of 800.
Out of 800. It caps at 800, which we were at 98 fire season. We've been close several times, but it is getting dry, and we are putting restrictions on burning authorizations. We have not even come close to saying no burning. We're just requiring heavy equipment on site and stuff like that we typically don't do when it's wetter.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's for the general public safety. We all realize that burning is the cheapest and easiest, fastest way to reduce everything that burns. But it's about the general safety of the public, so. And a lot of people are not sometimes happy about that. But we're trying to look out for everyone, not just.
I appreciate y'all's partnership with County Fire and, private agencies that keep these threats minimized. We talk about lightning strikes and that minor amount of acreage, given the potentials that are there, that's quite an accomplishment. So thank y'all.
Anyone else? Thank you for your service. But before 1965, we used to have a little burning parties around Taylor County thing. And I always thought that bear was a firefighter, you know, as a child. No smokers around there, you know, he'd be there with that uniform on and that hat. And I said, there's no bear fight fire like that. But anyway, we appreciate y'all.
You're talking about Smokey Bear. We were allowed to do a few, no, we tried to do one for the last year.
Yeah.
And when I had to tell that little girl that she could not come around Smokey, and the look of the disappointment on that child's face, I said, this is the last event that we're coming to. With Smokey not allowed to participate with the general program.
Okay.
It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, okay. All right, but we appreciate you again. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Oh, we go to number 14. Karen Spell and Stacy Stringfellow. Is here for discuss EM service concern.
I don't believe they're here.
Okay, what do we need to do? Skip?
Yes.
Continue? Okay. Go to county administrator item. Number 15. The board to consider approval of conveyance of public property from the Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, to Taylor County adoption authorizing resolution as agendaed by the county administrator. Good.
It came to our attention in August that FDOT has a process where they review excess parcels and properties. And the way this works is they identify public parcels, and it is what we co-own with the state. So Taylor County has 50% ownership and the state has 50% ownership. There were 2 parcels identified. This first parcel is 3 acres that is right off Spring Warrior Road. And staff believes that it would serve a public purpose in the future. We could possibly use it as a staging area for future construction. If we were able to clear and hopefully secure the site, we could possibly stockpile materials on it in the south end of the county. But I mean, there is potential for that. So we are respectfully asking the board to agree to allow the state to convey that parcel back to the county. There would be an approval of a resolution to acquire the property and a public purpose quitclaim deed the board would need to approve.
What's the downside, negative? What's it gonna cost us?
It won't cost us anything, I wouldn't believe, unless we have to pay recording fees. And Conrad, I'm not sure about that. It would be minimal.
Is it cleared?
No.
So we would have to clear it, have it as a staging area?
Well, possibly, hopefully, any contractor who wished to utilize it during the Spring Warrior resurfacing project would possibly clear that for their own benefit. But I can't promise to that. I'm just.
Is it, what kind of vegetation or what trees? Is it
Well,
pine
there's
trees?
pine trees on it, so possibly they could be harvested.
So we could make money off of that, potentially. Okay, motion to read the resolution by title only.
Was there a second?
Second.
Motion second, read by title only, Mr. Bishop.
Yes, folks, this is a different looking resolution. It says resolution and doesn't really have a title. And it says on motion of Commissioner Blank, seconded by Commissioner Blank, the following resolution was adopted. I'm going to read the first paragraph. If you looked onto your agenda, there's another one coming up where we're doing the same thing to them. So I considered it a swap. Whereas Taylor County, Florida proposes to use State Road number 361A, section number 38580-2602, F period, P period, NO period, NA in Taylor County, Florida, solely for public purposes pursuant to provisions of section 337.253 of the Florida statute. So think, it's just a swap. is what it is.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion second, we approve. Number
I
15, number 16.
approval of the quitclaim deed as well.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion second, all in favor, saying aye.
Uh,
Okay.
Is there a consideration, on the back page of this, resolution? We'll put 0 on that, make sure that they agree with that, I don't want them to,
That was my understanding, but I'll make sure.
yeah, I don't want them to come back on us, you know. They did their resolutions differently than what we generally do them. They got it backwards, but they'll be okay.
Okay, is that number 16?
Okay, for number 16,
Yeah.
this is the same type of transaction. This parcel is a little different, and we could not identify on the property appraiser's map or within our GIS software, exactly, this property isn't labeled, but at the south end of the highlighted parcel, it's basically an old haul route. So it's almost like an easement on the south end of this property that went to a borrow pit that is no longer owned by the state. So staff feels like it has no public purpose for us. Now, when we originally looked at this, there actually was a mobile home located within its 0.16 acres. So it's just a sliver at the south end of this property. That appears to have been moved as of when I checked the maps this morning, the 2022 maps, but I can't imagine that we would have any public purpose for it at all. And so DOT has agreed, if the board deeds it back to DOT, then they can in turn deed it to the property owner.
Say that one more time, if you will, that last part.
So DOT has agreed, if we deed it back to them, our interest, they can in turn work with the private property owner to convey it to them, just that sliver at the south end of the
I
property.
didn't think we had any interest in that. They were trying to give it to
No,
us.
We have 50% interest in both parcels. That's why we have to convey it back to DOT. Yes,
How many acres was that?
it's 0.16 acres. So it's an old haul route to a borrow pit.
It's literally only the width of a driveway to that parcel to the west. There used to be a borrow pit there. They've already reverted back to the private ownership. So it's a driveway to nowhere. We couldn't see a public benefit into it. It made more sense to go ahead and revert that to that parcel, that property owner, versus us trying to, come up with some reason that we felt it was necessary. The other one is a good idea. It'll benefit that the Spring Warrior Road reconstruction very nicely. And I think we can get some benefits out of it when we do get into that project. Because of it being where it is, you could always do I'll let you use this as a staging area if you'll take and clear off a half an acre or something like that, and just make sure you clean it up, put us a point of access. We'll see a benefit of that without having to invest into it.
Okay. Go ahead. You had something?
Motion to read the resolution by title only.
So, motion second, all in favor, saying aye. No.
Motion of Commissioner Blank, seconded by Commissioner Blank. Following resolution was adopted. This is State of Florida Department of Transportation originally proposed to construct or improve State Road number S-361A, section number 38565, A-2602, F period, P period, N, O period, NA, in Taylor County, Florida, and where it's necessary that certain interests now owned by Taylor County be acquired by the State of Florida Department of Transportation.
Motion to approve.
Motion second, all in favor, saying aye. Aye. Okay, got that.
I also need approval of the quitclaim deed that would be deeding our interest back to DOT.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion second, all in favor, saying aye. Okay. Number 17.
past, I would say, probably 2 years, we have been, or the Taylor County Recreation Advisory Board has been struggling a little bit to have a quorum in attendance during our meetings. It's currently a 7-member board, and recently there have been 2 members who have stepped down due to scheduling conflicts. So we felt like it would be a good time to come to the board and ask if you would consider reducing the members of that board from 7 to 5. It would involve a change in the ordinance, but then I believe that, now Conrad help me, we would only need 3 members to be present to have a quorum and a 5-member board. And it would allow T-Crab to conduct business on a regular basis.
You'd have to instruct, you do an ordinance amending this, and then have a public hearing on it. You can't just unilaterally just change it. You gotta do an ordinance. It's no big deal, but I mean, it just takes a little bit of time to do that. If that's what y'all consider that you want to do.
Yeah, I'm in favor of, in agreement with, making this change. I mean, I know over the course, I know over the last year, we have council meeting after meeting just from lack of participation of folks being able to be there, just from conflict of schedule. So if there's no other discussion or any questions, I'd make a motion to approve it.
Motion second, all in favor, saying aye.
Aye. Okay, so what y'all done is tell me to do an ordinance. Cindy?
Yes.
You got it. It's been a long time since Cindy and I worked together.
All right. Go to number 18. The board to approve settlement of the property sale of Cynthia Collins as agended by the county administrator.
This is another real estate transaction. So this is the settlement statement to complete the sale of the county-owned property located on Marina Road and to ask the board to designate the use of funding. So this first item is what we have traditionally called the small parcel on Marina Road. If you recall, on September 9th, the Board of County Commissioners accepted the bid of $20,000 from Cynthia Collins for this parcel. Curtis Law Firm is handling the transaction on behalf of Taylor County because they did ask for title insurance. So this would be the approval of the settlement statement, and then there will be a closing.
Motion to approve.
All in favor, saying aye.
Now, once we receive the funding, we are asking that you designate the use of the funding. Do you wish it to go into general fund reserves, or do you wish it to go into a separate fund for any particular future use?
What's your suggestion?
I would say just put it in general fund reserves. Or you can add it to you could add it to the department where we host the funds from the sale of the old hospital. Just if you want to add it to that, I think it would be fine. We have approximately $300,000 in that department, and that was a similar real estate transaction. So if you want to hold all the funds there, you can as well for future projects.
I was going to keep it separated out.
Okay. All right. Have the motion second. Do we have 19? Board to consider the approval of the settlement, profit sale of John H. Webb and Jerry R. Webb as agended by the county administrator.
So this is the second of the 2 parcels that the board accepted bids on. The board accepted the bid of $99,500 from John H. and Jerry R. Webb for the county-owned property parcel located on Marina Road. This is what we refer to as the larger of the 2 properties. Again, Curtis Law Firm is handling the transaction on behalf of Taylor County because the property owners asked for title insurance. And this would be a sale of $99,500.
Motion to approve and put the money in a separate account.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, saying aye. Good. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Moving right along.
Would you like to discuss now, our November and December calendar, or would you rather discuss it during next week's workshop? I really don't have a preference. I just need to review some of the dates that we have scheduled for November and December and make sure everybody's calendar aligns.
Do you have something you could send us in the meantime to look at and give us time to look over it so that?
That's okay.
We can talk about it during next week's workshop. That's fine.
That's okay with everybody else.
That's fine. We have, a State of the County presentation, I would like to schedule, and I just want you to review the scheduled meetings to make sure. We did schedule the second meeting in November for November 22nd. That is Thanksgiving week. I do know we'll have one commissioner out of town during that week. The week prior, we'll have a different commissioner out of town. So I would just like to review the calendar. But I'll put it on the workshop agenda.
November workshop, the first one is when? I mean, the schedule meeting.
I can send you the calendars, but November 1st and November 22nd are our scheduled meetings. And then December 5th and 19th are the December meetings. And next Tuesday, we will have a special meeting and a workshop that begins at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
November 1st is Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you have any items you'd like to add to the agenda, if you'll just let me know by tomorrow, that would be helpful.
Now you get.
And just a reminder, November 11th is our Veterans Day Luncheon. And if you would like to participate or assist, please just let us know.
Financially, what you need?
If you'd like to participate in the ceremony, if you'd like to serve, any way you'd like to help, we do like to involve the commissioners, the constitutional officers, 4-H, and some of those organizations. We would like to hold it indoors this year because we were so worried about having it not being received well when we moved it indoors last year. But actually, we received so many compliments, and it was so comfortable indoors that we would like to hold it indoors
So
again.
much better.
Okay.
And actually, we have started during COVID, we started using their prepackaged dinners, but we found that when we do that, it's so much more efficient. We can feed people much quicker rather than them getting in line and being served one at a time. So we would like to utilize that as well. And we
Prepackaged dinners?
Yes. So it's really just the same food. It's just prepackaged in a styrofoam container, and we can pass them out very, very quickly.
It's in a takeout, like a takeout box.
Yeah. Good.
Yes. Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to put you on the spot. I just wanted to thank Commissioner English for looping me in with a conversation with USFA softball regarding the possibility of scheduling at least a tournament or tournaments in the spring.
Yeah.
So yes, so thank you for looping me into that conversation. Our new Parks and Recreation manager did meet with some of the baseball association folks, and they had some suggestions of things we may need to do to prepare for tournaments that would be helpful, but that's on his radar as well. So we'll keep working on the fields and any improvements we can do prior to the spring.
That's good. Are there any possibilities of soccer tournaments? Do you know?
The last one we had was a college
That was
tournament.
college, it was more of a camp type day, I believe it was. The college came out and played. It really wasn't.
Like an exhibition.
Yeah, it was
almost.
more for the kids to come out and see that level of play, I guess, in this
That
community.
Kevin kid done it last year?
No, it was actually a college playoff.
Yeah, it was a college playoff. They held it here at our complex.
Yeah.
Just a couple of college teams. And it was more, here, our kids were able to kind of go out and watch.
Although the kid family did host, a camp during the summer.
Yes.
That was well attended.
But as far as what Commissioner Fields referring to in soccer tournaments, I wouldn't see any reason why we couldn't, just for, we'd have to get in touch with that soccer association. I would say, just gonna say, Yancy Brown, he's kinda.
Yes, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
good with this, so they do a lot of traveling, they go all over the place playing soccer, so they would be some that we could reach out to get in contact with all the directors of the, tournaments, that holds the soccer tournaments, to hold them out here, so.
And soccer starts, I believe, the second week in November. They've actually started doing some practicing now,
Yeah,
so.
and I can help with that, I can reach out to Yancy and talk to him, I know him well, spoke with him last week a little bit, so I just let him know.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Very good.
Comments from the public for non-agenda items. Anyone from the public? Three strangers out there. You want to introduce yourself?
Some of us are Perry folk now, we're not strangers, hold on now.
Okay.
I got family here. I'm Ben, and this is Jamie with Second Harvest of the Big Bend.
Second Harvest, the Big Bend?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you?
Well, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not a stranger.
You're not a stranger.
John Collins with the Avcon, your airport consultant. I was just meeting with Ward later today, so I thought I'd stop by and sit in the meeting and just be part of what's happening.
Well, let me say, I have a whole saying. Whenever you come to town, bring a pot of money. I like that.
John's been very helpful with bringing.
We're trying
us
to.
yeah.
We're trying to. We're trying to get that pot of money.
Well, money's work. We accept that too.
Okay, that's right.
Okay. Anyone from the commission? Mr. Bishop? Miss Clerk?
No.
Sheriff's Department got somebody? Okay. What do I hear? Adjourn. Motion second. Motion adjourned.
You got a couple? Yes, let me reach, let me, talk to this gentleman.
Give you one,
Yes.
you get your
I sent you an email.
Yeah.